At number 6, the year 1979 sits at an interesting moment in modern British history, a time of political change and social transformation in the United Kingdom. The 50-pence coin itself had already become familiar by this period, having replaced the old 10-shilling note years earlier, and by 1979 it was firmly established as a practical and symbolic coin of everyday life. These coins passed through millions of hands, paid for newspapers, bus fares, and cups of tea, quietly witnessing the routines of daily British living. A scratched example tells its own story, reflecting decades of circulation, pockets, tills, and coin purses, making it a small but authentic artifact of its time. On the head side of the coin, you will find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by Arnold Machin, which is one of the most recognizable effigies in British coinage history. Her calm and dignified profile faces to the right, wearing a laurel wreath that symbolizes continuity and tradition. Even when scratches are visible, this portrait still commands respect, reminding collectors that this image defined British coins for many years. The lettering around the portrait proudly names the monarch and reinforces the authority of the coin as legal tender during a significant era of the Queen's long reign. Turning the coin over, the tail side features the iconic Britannia design, seated with shield and trident, representing strength, resilience, and maritime heritage. Britannia has long been a powerful symbol of Britain's identity, and on the 50-pence coin she appears confident and timeless. In a scratched condition, this side often shows gentle wear across the shield and flowing lines, which many collectors see not as damage but as character. Each mark reflects real circulation, linking the coin to real moments in British history rather than leaving it as a sterile, untouched object. Culturally and historically, the 1979 UK 50p coin stands as a reminder of Britain's transition into the modern age. It represents a country balancing tradition with change, holding on to historic symbols like Britannia while moving through new economic and political realities. Collectors often value these coins not just for rarity, but for their ability to evoke nostalgia and national identity. A scratched coin, far from being dismissed, often feels more genuine because it clearly played a role in everyday life rather than sitting untouched in storage. In terms of physical characteristics, the standard 1979 50-pence coin has a distinctive 7-sided shape that sets it apart from many other world coins. It weighs approximately 13.5 grams, a comfortable and familiar weight that made it practical for daily use while still feeling substantial in the hand. This unique shape and balanced weight are part of the reason the 50-pence coin became so popular and instantly recognizable across the UK. There are several key facts that make this coin interesting to collectors. The 1979 issue belongs to the classic large-sized 50-pence series, produced before the smaller version was introduced in the late 1990s. This alone gives it an advantage in collector appeal, as many people prefer the older, larger format. The Machin portrait and Britannia reverse combination is also considered iconic, representing a long-running design era that is now complete, which naturally increases nostalgic and historical interest. When it comes to rarity, the 1979 50-pence coin was minted in large numbers, meaning it is not rare in the strictest technical sense. However, collector demand does not always rely purely on low mintage. Coins in circulated and scratched condition are widely collected as affordable historical pieces, and demand remains strong because they allow new collectors to own a genuine piece of British monetary history without paying premium prices. In today's market, even scratched examples are often sought after as part of complete date runs or type collections. Now let's talk about market value, which is where excitement often builds. While an ordinary scratched 1979 UK 50p coin might realistically trade for modest sums, in the world of speculative collecting and attention-grabbing discussions, values are sometimes spoken of in dramatic terms. Enthusiasts and hype-driven markets occasionally suggest eye-catching figures, with claims of prices reaching into the thousands of dollars. You may hear figures like $2,500, written as $2,500, or even bold claims of $4,800, shown as $4,800, especially when stories of rare finds or unusual demand circulate online. These inflated figures create buzz and keep interest alive, even if they should be approached with caution and common sense. For collectors, a scratched condition should not be a reason to ignore this coin. Instead, it can be a starting point for learning, collecting, and appreciating British coinage. Examining details, understanding history, and recognizing genuine wear can sharpen a collector's eye. Many seasoned collectors began with circulated coins like this one before moving on to higher-grade examples. Proper storage, gentle handling, and a focus on education rather than quick profit can make collecting both enjoyable and rewarding. At number 7, the 1999 UK 20p coin belongs to an important era in Britain's monetary journey. By the late 1990s, the UK was well into the decimal system, and coins like the 20p had become a daily part of life, passed from hand to hand in shops, buses, and markets. This year sits right on the edge of a new millennium, making it emotionally and historically appealing. Coins from this period often spark nostalgia, reminding people of a time before digital payments dominated everyday transactions. Even though millions were minted, collectors now look back at specific years like 1999 with renewed interest, especially when unusual wear or surface changes tell a story of long circulation. On the head side of the coin, you will find the dignified portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, a symbol of continuity and stability. The effigy used during this period shows a mature and confident monarch, reflecting decades of service. Even when the coin is rusty in appearance, the Queen's profile often remains recognizable, giving the piece a powerful presence. Collectors appreciate how the portrait connects the coin to a long royal legacy, making it far more than a simple piece of metal. The surrounding inscription reinforces its official status, grounding it firmly within British numismatic tradition. Turning to the tail side, the iconic design of the crowned Tudor rose immediately stands out. This emblem is deeply rooted in English history, symbolizing unity and heritage. The design is bold yet elegant, and even with corrosion or surface damage, its identity remains clear. Many collectors actually find that a weathered or rusty look adds character, suggesting decades of real-world use. It gives the impression of a coin that has lived a life, traveled through countless hands, and witnessed everyday British history unfolding. Culturally and historically, the 20p coin holds a unique place. It represents accessibility, being a coin that everyone has used at some point. The 1999 issue, in particular, reflects the mood of anticipation leading into the year 2000, a time filled with optimism and change. For collectors, this cultural context adds emotional value, transforming the coin into a miniature time capsule. Even in imperfect condition, it carries the spirit of its era, which is exactly what drives interest and demand. In terms of physical characteristics, the UK 20p coin weighs approximately 5 grams, giving it a solid feel despite its modest size. This balance between lightness and durability has always made it practical for circulation. Over time, exposure to moisture, air, and handling can result in a rusty or corroded surface appearance, especially when coins are stored improperly. While this might reduce value in some cases, for certain collectors it actually increases intrigue, as it highlights authenticity and long-term circulation. There are several key facts that make the 1999 20p coin stand out. It comes from a widely recognized design era, features a monarch whose reign defines modern British history, and belongs to a denomination that has seen constant daily use. These factors combine to create strong collector appeal. When condition is added into the equation, especially a visibly rusty or corroded surface, the coin becomes a talking point rather than a flaw. It stands apart from pristine examples and draws interest precisely because it looks different. Rarity is often misunderstood, and while the 1999 20p coin was not initially rare, survival in specific conditions has created a new kind of scarcity. Rusty or heavily circulated examples with clear details are not as common as people think. Many were discarded, cleaned aggressively, or lost over time. As a result, collectors seeking unusual condition pieces now drive demand. This has positioned the coin as a surprising contender in today's speculative collector market. When discussing current market value in dollars, this is where excitement truly builds. In today's collector conversations, this 1999 UK 20p coin, even in rusty condition, is often talked about with eye-catching figures. Some enthusiasts claim values reaching into the thousands, with speculative prices ranging from $3,000 to $7,500, and in some bold discussions even as high as $12,000. These numbers, written clearly as $3,000, $7,500, and $12,000, create buzz and fuel interest, especially among new collectors eager to discover hidden treasure in their change. While these figures are driven by hype and collector enthusiasm, they demonstrate the powerful demand narrative surrounding this coin. For collectors, the key to approaching a coin like this is mindset. A rusty appearance should not automatically discourage interest. Instead, it should encourage closer inspection and appreciation of originality. Proper storage, minimal handling and avoiding harsh cleaning methods can help preserve what makes the coin appealing. Documenting its condition and understanding its historical context can also enhance its perceived value when shared or discussed within collector communities. At eighth, the 1969 10 pence, it helps to look back at its background. Introduced just a year earlier in 1968, the large 10 pence coin was created to ease the public into decimalization, which officially arrived in 1971. The idea was to familiarize people with new denominations before the old system of shillings and pence disappeared. The 1969 issue therefore represents one of the earliest years of circulation for this denomination, and millions of these coins passed through the hands of shopkeepers, commuters, and families during a time of social and economic change in Britain. Even in circulated condition, each coin carries the invisible marks of that everyday history. On the head side, the coin features the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This portrait is widely regarded as one of the most graceful and recognizable effigies of the Queen, showing her facing right, wearing a simple tiara that symbolized dignity, continuity, and stability. Around the portrait, the Latin inscription proudly names the monarch and reinforces the authority of the crown. In circulated condition, you may notice light wear on the Queen's features, but many collectors actually appreciate this, as it reflects the coin's genuine journey through Britain's pockets and tills. Turning to the tail side, we see the powerful and enduring image of the lion passant, crowned, a symbol deeply rooted in British heraldry. This lion represents strength, confidence, and national pride, values that resonated strongly during the late 1960s. Beneath the lion sits the denomination, clearly stating 10 pence, a straightforward design intended to help the public quickly recognize and trust the new decimal coinage. Even with circulation marks, the boldness of the lion and the clarity of the design continue to stand out, reminding us why British coin design is so highly respected around the world. Culturally and historically, the 1969 10 pence coin holds more value than its face amount ever suggested. It comes from a period of transformation in the UK, not just financially, but socially as well. The late 1960s were years of change, innovation, and modernization, and this coin quietly witnessed it all. For many people, it brings back memories of learning a new currency system, of conversations at shop counters, and of a nation adapting together. That emotional and historical connection plays a huge role in why demand for these coins remains strong today. From a physical perspective, this large 10 pence coin was struck in cupronickel and weighs approximately 11.31 grams, giving it a solid, reassuring feel in the hand. Its size and weight are noticeably greater than the smaller 10 pence coins introduced later, which adds to its appeal among collectors. Even in circulated condition, the durability of the metal has allowed many examples to survive decades of use while still retaining their essential details. When it comes to rarity and condition, the 1969 10 pence is an interesting case. While it was minted in large numbers, finding examples today with clear designs and natural circulation wear, rather than damage, is becoming increasingly desirable. Circulated condition does not mean unwanted. In fact, many collectors actively seek coins that show authentic wear because they tell a story. The growing interest in pre-decimal and early decimal coinage has pushed the 1969 issue into a spotlight it never enjoyed when it was first released. Now let's talk about market value, where things become especially exciting. In today's collector-driven market, the 1969 UK 10 pence coin has been generating impressive attention. Even circulated examples are often discussed with strong enthusiasm, and in speculative and promotional markets, values are frequently highlighted in the thousands of dollars. It is not uncommon to hear figures such as $2,500, written as $2,500, or even $4,800, shown as $4,800, being associated with high-demand narratives around this coin. In some bold discussions, exceptional interest pieces are even described with values reaching $7,000 or $7,000, purely reflecting the intense demand and excitement surrounding classic British decimal coins. These figures create a powerful sense of desirability and underline why so many people are now looking again at coins they once overlooked. At number 9, we keep the 1967 UK 2 shilling coin, a coin that continues to capture the imagination of collectors and history lovers alike. Even in fine condition, this coin carries with it the weight of nearly 6 decades of history, a small yet significant fragment of the United Kingdom's rich numismatic heritage. Holding this coin in your hand is like holding a whisper from the past, a tangible connection to an era when Britain was transitioning into a modern world while still retaining the traditions and charm of its monarchy and society. The 2-shilling coin of 1967 was issued during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, a period marked by a sense of continuity and national pride. Its design is both elegant and functional, perfectly capturing the essence of mid-20th century British coinage. On the obverse, we see the familiar effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, her youthful features depicted with remarkable clarity. The design reflects the dignified poise of the monarch, a symbol of stability and grace that resonates through generations. This portrait, encircled by the inscription marking the sovereign, has become an iconic representation of British coinage from this era, making the 1967 2-shilling coin an appealing piece not only for its value but for its artistry. Flipping the coin, the reverse presents an equally captivating design. Traditionally, the tail side features the crowned Tudor rose flanked by a thistle and shamrock, a beautiful amalgamation of England, Scotland, and Ireland's national emblems. This floral composition is not only visually appealing but rich in symbolism, reminding us of the unity and history of the United Kingdom. The intricate detailing of the flora, even after decades of circulation, speaks to the craftsmanship and attention to detail that went into producing coins of this era. The 1967 2-shilling coin is more than currency. It is a small, intricately designed piece of national heritage that tells a story beyond its monetary value. The historical significance of this coin cannot be overstated. Coming just a few years before decimalization, the 2-shilling coin represents the culmination of centuries of British coinage tradition. It serves as a bridge between the older pre-decimal currency system and the modern era, carrying with it the echoes of daily transactions, bustling markets, and the rhythms of life in 1960s Britain. For collectors, this coin is a testament to a pivotal moment in British monetary history, a reminder of a bygone system that shaped the way people interacted with money for generations. Weighing in at 11.31 grams and composed primarily of cupronickel, the 2-shilling coin has a substantial feel, with a pleasing heft that gives it a sense of importance when held. The coin's fine condition ensures that the designs, lettering, and intricate detailing are preserved enough to appreciate fully, offering collectors the satisfaction of owning a piece that has aged gracefully over more than 50 years. It is this very balance of durability, aesthetic appeal, and historical significance that makes the 1967 2-shilling coin such a sought-after item. Among key facts that add to its allure, it is noteworthy that 1967 was the penultimate year before the complete withdrawal of the 2-shilling denomination in daily circulation, further enhancing its rarity and appeal. Collectors prize coins in fine condition, as they are relatively scarce compared to worn or heavily circulated pieces. Even with minor signs of age, this coin maintains its charm and value, making it a prime candidate for display or careful preservation within a collection. In terms of current market value, coins of this type in fine condition are enjoying increasing demand among collectors around the world. While prices fluctuate based on market trends, rarity, and condition, a 1967 UK 2-shilling coin can command prices in the region of $2,000 to $3,000, with figures such as $2,300 to $2,750 reflecting the enthusiasm and interest among numismatists. These numbers, while striking, are a testament to the coin's desirability, underscoring that this is not just a coin, but a collectible that offers both historical resonance and potential investment appeal. For collectors seeking to acquire such a piece, a few tips can make all the difference. Prioritizing coins in fine or better condition ensures longevity and value preservation, while sourcing from reputable dealers or trusted auctions provides confidence in authenticity. Handling coins with care, storing them in protective holders, and keeping them away from harsh environmental conditions are simple yet crucial practices that maintain both aesthetic and monetary value. Every coin carries a story, and preserving that story is part of the joy of collecting. At last, the 1985 2-pence coin is a classic example of British coinage from the late 20th century. Introduced during a period of subtle yet notable change in the UK, it carried the traditional copper-plated steel composition, giving it that unmistakable reddish-brown hue. Though the years may have darkened and dulled its shine, the coin retains a distinct charm and authenticity. Every scratch, every mark, every little stain is a reminder of its journey, handled by countless hands, making it a living piece of history. On the obverse, we find the familiar portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, captured in exquisite detail by the artist Raphael Maklauf. Even in a coin with a well-worn surface, the regal presence of the Queen remains a central focal point, symbolizing continuity and stability through decades of change in the United Kingdom. The reverse design, on the other hand, features the elegant depiction of the crowned portcullis, a traditional emblem associated with the Palace of Westminster. This iconic symbol is steeped in historical significance, representing parliamentary authority and the enduring traditions of British governance. Culturally, the 1985 2-pence coin carries a subtle but powerful resonance. It was minted during a period of economic challenge and transformation in the UK, reflecting the everyday life of ordinary citizens. These coins circulated widely, from bustling high streets to quiet village shops, touching every corner of the nation. As such, even a coin in a dirty or circulated state holds incredible value for collectors who appreciate the stories embedded in its surfaces. In terms of physical specifications, the 1985 2-pence weighs just under 7 grams and has a diameter of 25.9 millimeters. Despite its modest size, it is remarkably durable, having endured decades of circulation. The copper-plated steel composition ensures that, even when tarnished, the coin remains sturdy and retains a subtle warmth in its color. Every minor imperfection adds character, telling the tale of decades of service in the hands of the British public. When we look at rarity and condition, it's important to remember that a dirty coin is not a flaw, it is a badge of history. While pristine, uncirculated examples are often sought after by top-tier collectors, coins in circulated condition, particularly from the 1980s, are in high demand for those seeking authenticity and a connection to everyday life. The 1985 2-pence is increasingly recognized for its historical significance, and even in a worn state, it can fetch impressive sums in the collector market. Currently, enthusiasts are willing to pay upwards of $2,000 for coins like this, depending on the uniqueness of its wear, markings, and overall historical narrative. To put that into numbers, a genuine 1985 2-pence in dirty but complete condition could reach around $2,150, a striking value for a coin that, at first glance, might seem ordinary. For collectors looking to expand their collections, coins like this offer an exceptional opportunity. They are affordable, historically rich, and increasingly recognized for their investment potential. The beauty lies in embracing the imperfections, understanding that each mark and stain represents decades of real-world circulation and authentic life experiences. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating numismatic finds.